Hello, this is Keith Jordan of the Hudson Valley Guild of Mental Health Professionals. The Guild is a membership organization of about 140 therapists throughout the Hudson Valley, and we get together to communicate with each other and also to provide information to the community and to be available for clients. And we are interested in referring people to the best therapist that they can have for themselves. Today, I'm going to be interviewing one of the therapists in the Guild, and her name is Robin Goldstein. How are you, Robin?
I'm good. Hi, Keith.
So can you tell us what you do professionally?
I'm a psychotherapist. I work across the lifespan. I work with really everyone, all populations. And I work a lot with people in the queer community, people who are gender expansive, everyone pretty much. So I provide usually long-term. Most people who come to me are coming for a year or more.
And how did you get interested in doing the work that you do?
Well, I started out as a developmental psychologist. I had been living in India and I went to Dharamsala and spent a bit of time with the Tibetans who lived there. I came back to this country, this was many decades ago, and I was just fascinated with the calm of the Tibetan people and the ease. And so I wanted to learn more about it, and I became a developmental psychologist to go back and do research. Life took a different turn. I ended up working as a professor and a researcher. And then I retrained. I started working with families around their children and learning issues. And I realized that I needed to help parents if I was going to help children. So I went back, I retrained as a therapist. And then I added to that training, a 4-year training to become a bioenergetic therapist. That's where I am today.
Can you say something about bioenergetics and how you use that in your work?
So bioenergetics is really using the body, it's a somatic process, to inform us. Our body is talking to us. It is our teacher, and it holds a lot of information that is not necessarily in our consciousness. That's what the work is, to work with people's bodies, to help them to access what's there. And as opposed to a top-down approach, which is sort of talk therapy, which I also do, bioenergetics is more a bottom-up therapy. It comes from your gut, it comes from energy, and it brings up emotion. Then you can work with the emotion first. In fact, our bodies go places before our minds do. We often can't tell, but we're in fear or panic or elation. Maybe it's nanoseconds, but it is before our brain makes a story about it. When you're in trauma, you leave your body. So a traumatized child will develop all sorts of defenses to get through. And one of them will be to leave their body, possibly, to leave the reality that they're in. Bioenergetics says, okay, now you're in a different time and place. You don't have the same environment, but you're acting towards the environment as if you do. So the data is coming in, and it's like going through a prison. It's being distorted to a time and place without our knowing it, right? And we then tell ourselves a story. And the most easy version of this would be the person who comes home from a war, hears the backfire of a car, right, and drops. Their body, to keep it safe, drops. The story that gets created, there's danger. So bioenergetics works with that. And I work a lot with what we call relational trauma. So some people there are different types of trauma. And a lot of what I work with are people who have relational trauma, which is along a continuum. And it really makes a difference when it occurs in an individual's development, like everything.
Can you say more about your professional education?
Sure. I went to the Graduate Center in New York City, retrained with a psychotherapist, and worked for him for many years. I did work in a hospital for a year where you're just given patients. I worked as a therapist in a rehab facility, not addiction rehab, but where all different people go. They've had a knee replacement, a hip replacement. And they're in a rehab. So I worked there. I saw everything in New York City, and the entire time I had a supervisor. And then I went to the New York Society for Bioenergetic Analysis, and I did a 4-year training, 2 years theory and 2 years active clinical work. I am a licensed psychologist in the state of New York.
So people get to call you doctor.
Yes, I have a PhD. I have a PhD yes, I have a PhD.
Can you say something about how you get referrals? The clients that you get, how do they come to you?
They come either from patients I currently have. So I have had patients who have shared their therapist with a friend or with someone. I'm on Psychology Today, and from colleagues. I have quite a few people that have come through colleagues who have referred people to me.
So some people are a good fit and some people are not as good a fit for what you provide. Can you say something more about like who would be the person that would be a good fit?
I work with people who have come to a place in their life where they want more. They want to go beyond survival. They want to understand themselves greater. They notice they have a pattern and they don't like that pattern, but they can't stop it. It's really about the choice to feel. I work a lot with people who maybe don't even know it, but from a consult, I can kind of tell, have come to a place where they realize they want to feel more. Usually people, when they work with me, they come to realize pretty quickly that, they're going to work with this. And a lot of people, it takes a long time. I've worked with people 8 years, 9 years. I work with all different people with all different diagnoses. There's no one that I won't work with.
Do you take insurances?
I am not on any panels. So I offer a sliding scale for people who have insurance. I give them an invoice. They can submit it to their insurance. And if they have out-of-network benefits, which luckily many do, their insurance pays for it. In the end, I'm averaging, what I can live on.
Where are you located and do you offer teletherapy?
Yes, I offer teletherapy. I have a beautiful space in Millerton, New York, right on the border of Connecticut and New York.
So how would someone contact you if they want to make use of your services?
They could go to Psychology Today and just click on their link. They can call me, 646-535-7391, or they can email me at docrgpsych, psych@gmail.com. I do a consultation for 10-15 minutes at no cost. And that's the beginning of trying to see, is this something that's going to work?
Well, thank you very much for letting us get to know you a little bit.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And, it's really all just about education. So I'm very happy to do this.